shrinking demographics, these countries will rapidly develop robotics and AI and technology. And if the promise, I didn't say it's going to happen, but if the promise of all that transforms productivity, which most of us think it will, we'll be able to elevate the standard of living of countries and the standard of living of individuals, even with shrinking populations. So that the world is going to be short power. Short power. And to power these data companies, you cannot have just this intermittent power like wind and solar. You need dispatchable power because you can't turn off and on these data centers. And so it's a combination.
Give a type of money that can only be spent for a specific number of reasons. And some worry about that state control or whatever. But like in this particular narrow use case, you want to give checks to individuals to get the economy moving again. Yeah. So if you think of programmable money that expires if you don't spend it.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told his members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will. During that auction that we saw a little bit before, the attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction; it was absolutely lousy. And you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. Now, we had the Fed signal rate cuts, but remember, guys, they haven't cut rates yet. So we know the master magicians are about to set up that distraction. So therefore, they can cut rates while we still have inflation. And in the fourth quarter, once the election is over, we know the movie begins. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now we have Bitcoin and crypto down, and we have stocks are up. And like I told you, this week is going to be a roller coaster ride for stocks and cryptos, because we do have Jerome in the house. And then also, guys, next week, we know we have open interest. They need Bitcoin as collateral. Is like clockwork. Now we have Senator Cynthia Loomis says a strategic Bitcoin reserves could help pay down the nation's $35 trillion debt. And we see that's the narrative that the politicians are pushing. And we know why. And that's to bring on this fourth industrial revolution where the machines take over. If you want to pay down debt, you stop spending. You don't print 80% of all money in existence in 2 years. And we know the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And we know this solution has been ready for decades. All they need is that crisis. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now, guys, do not forget to pay attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates right now are slightly up. We have the dollar up, we have volume and crypto up, and we have Tether and USDC. And we have Solana-based PayPal stablecoin supply closes gap on Ethereum PayPal stablecoin. And stablecoins are so important because they're nothing but digital dollars, and they give the central banks even more power. And then on top of it, they're programmable. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And then, guys, of course, we have the Fed repo yesterday was at $385 billion. Make sure you're pulling this on a daily basis during the week. And remember, guys, this repo is set up for a safety blanket like a lot of the central banks are using across the globe. And we have Bank of England to carry out a CBDC and digital ledger experiment. And, of course, in the United States, the politicians are saying no to CBDCs. But we know at the end, once we get that crisis, is going to be all yeses. The masses will never interact with this CBDC. You'll just have stable coins and they'll just be pegged to the CBDC. But when we see all these countries moving in lockstep, that means there's a plan. If you look at the C word, there was a plan. You can go back and see the plan. And with all plans, there's steps to go. It just doesn't happen overnight. And that's the problem with the sheep. They see something, it doesn't happen quickly, so they forget all about it. And then in a couple years, they actually see it. They go, man, I should have invested in this, or I should have did that, or I should have did this, because they're thinking because it took so long, it would never happen. But that's what the NWO expects. And they definitely expect for you to forget. And that's the reason why the elders are so important. Now, when we look at Enbridge, we see all the major central banks have their hand in it, and that's including the Fed. And with these CBDCs, they'll be on a private blockchain. You're not going to be able to see these transactions. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, tomorrow we have Jerome in the house, and we know he's going to come with good news. Why? Because we're getting bad news when it comes to this economy. The economy is already broke. There's no way of fixing it when you have the politicians just keep piling on this debt, and then you have the Treasury and the Fed tell you the economy is great, when we clearly know that is not the truth. But of course, tomorrow he's going to tell us that he's data dependent and that they're seeing weakness in the labor market. And don't forget, jobs reports come out on Friday. So we know if he doesn't cut tomorrow, he's definitely going to set up a cut for September. But remember, guys, the damage has already been done. And then once we get this president, their job is going to be to cut all this spending and then also to bring in all this technology. And in 2028, when you vote next time, you will be voting on blockchain. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have the spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, Blackrock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. And we have Bitcoin ETFs right now are down. We have Ethereum ETFs slightly up. And make sure you're paying attention to the outflows and inflows. Now, getting over into a little crypto news, and we have one topic. We have the movie continues. We have the SEC intends to amend complaint against third-party tokens like Solana, Cardano, and Polygon in the Binance case. And just remember, guys, all these cases were just to kick the regulation can down the road. It doesn't take a decade to put out rules for crypto. We see it in the EU, which they took a long period of time. But in the United States, we already have rules in place, and they know this. But of course, they need time to get the emerging markets cranking up. Remember, the fourth industrial revolution is going to start in the East and then move west. And the reason for that is that the United States is the last free nation. And a lot that's going to happen in the fourth industrial revolution in America, they wouldn't tolerate. So that's the reason why you have to bring them to their knees, and they will accept anything. And we've seen this done plenty of times in history. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But guys, all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.